Hi guys, welcome to Unisys Weekly Fundamental Analysis. So first of all, as usual, we'll look into USD. So non-agricultural jobs in the US dropped sharply in November, but the unemployment rate fell. So as the data shows that in November, the US added 245,000 non-agricultural jobs, and the growth rate fell for the fifth consecutive month. It was far less than the expected increase of 475 million. The previous value was revised down from an increase of 638,000 to an increase of 611,000. However, the unemployment rate in the US fell by 0.2 percentage points to 6.7% in November, which is expected to be 6.8%. The average hourly wage in the US recorded 4.4% in November, which was unchanged from the previous value and better than the expected value of 4.2%. Furthermore, the non-agricultural report shows that the number of long-term unemployment rate has risen slightly, indicating that the sustained impact of the epidemic on the economy is expected to last longer than expected, which also forces Congress to take measures as soon as possible to approve a new round of rescue plans. The analyst Olivia Rockman said the report shows that the number of long-term unemployment has increased, which sends a red flag to the job market and the overall economy. So factors such as the renewed surge in the COVID-19 cases and the lack of new government assistance funds may undermine the momentum of the economy's recovery from the epidemic recession, leading to economic contraction in the first quarter of 2021. So the US reported nearly 200,000 new cases on Wednesday, and the number of hospitalizations approached 100,000. Last issue also mentioned that the US epidemic is still at a disadvantage, as we mentioned last week. Next, we'll look into the AUD. So after the big rise in November, the risk of short-term correction of the Australian dollar has increased. Under the optimistic expectation of global economic recovery, it is expected to continue to rise in the next year. So on 3rd of December, the analyst at National Australia Bank stated that the Australian dollar had already risen sharply in November. As Australia's economy is still recovering, the Australian dollar may continue to rise in 2021. But considering that the Australian dollar has already risen sharply in November, there may be some correction in these few coming weeks. However, based on the expectations of global economic recovery, the Australian dollar is still expected to rise in 2021. The bank now predicts that the Australian dollar will be traded at 0.74 at the end of the year, rising to 0.76 at the end of March of 2021 to 0.77 in the middle of 2021 and to 0.78 at the end of 2021. So Atelier, head of foreign exchange strategy at National Australia Bank, said, "We are bullish on the trend of the Australian dollar against the US dollar. We predict that the exchange rate will still be supported by fundamental factors and will rise to 0.78 in the future. In 2021, a solid and extensive global economic recovery should be improved. It is also important to boost risk appetite. But it is also important that with the promotion of infrastructure in Asia, we expect demand for commodities to continue and Australia foreign trade may also remain high." So next, we'll look into the Brexit about the euro and GBP. The pound has set a new high in more than 3 months, and it may increase by more than 1,000 points in the next year, although negotiations between the UK and Europe are blocked. An agreement is still expected this week. So, in the European market on Thursday, the British pound accelerated its rise against the US dollar and hit a new high of 1.3453 on September 1st of September. Although the Euro diplomat previously said that there are still major differences in fisheries, he at least revealed that the talks are still in progress and continue to try to overcome the problems left over before. And this still promotes the resurgence of optimism in the market. In addition, the positive news on the COVID-19 vaccine and the optimism brought by the US fiscal stimulus plan continue to suffer. So the dollar has fallen to more than 2 years. The half low also boosted the pound. So according to the latest news, the Europe sources pointed out that the Euro and Brexit negotiators will assess the overall progress of trade negotiations on Thursday or Friday, although the UK and the Euro maintain intensive negotiations. There are still differences on a key and sensitive issue of fishing, and the two sides may reach an agreement this weekend. So, in terms of the level playing field clause, Barnier said the two sides are gradually finding common ground. So, it is worth noting that Barnier, the Europe's chief negotiator for the Brexit, said on Wednesday that with the huge differences in fisheries rights, Brexit negotiations have reached a critical moment. So next we'll look at the next week's Forex calendar. So friends may take a screenshot and as a reference that if you are trading in these days might be you might have to note down, which is very important. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.